This episode of the Long Run Podcast is sponsored by Skechers.
Hello and good evening. Welcome to the Long Run Show, live brought to you by the FORDY RUNS Running Club and Community and YouTube channel. And huge thank you to our sponsors at Skechers. So you should head over to skechers.co.uk to check out all of their latest trainers and kit. The Go Ride 11 is on there, guys, and Max Road 6 isn't just yet, but it is coming, I believe. Right, tonight we're going to be talking about how you train differently in the summer. And I'm joined by Toby, Ben and Chris. And clearly Chris has had too much time on his hands today, because if you watch the first
What?
the opening.
Oh, so if you're listening to this on a podcast, I apologise. I found an old picture of Hayden in his band. I'm going to put it back up just in case anyone misses it, because I've got power as well tonight. I've just realised again. Right, so here we go, everybody. Just in case you missed it at the open. Wow, look at it. So that's an original photo that I found on the internet. Of Hayden in his band days. I've still not found one yet of him in Oliver, but I'm hopeful I can find that.
Yeah, for next week, do you reckon?
I'm not here next week, am I?
Yep.
Oh, we've got Andy Forrest of Dean next week.
Yeah.
We've got the FOD runner. So that's a good chat. Let's tune into that. Hopefully then I might be able to find that picture by next week.
Well, let's see.
You know?
To be fair, it's the first sunny day of the year, isn't it? Like, well, not first, but
proper
it is
sunny. Yeah, I know what you mean. Proper sunny day.
So I'm guessing everyone's in their gardens having barbecues and not really listening.
No one's going to be watching this live. No one. Oh, by the way, there is. Hang on, now saying that there's 1 million people watching this live. I've just checked.
Right.
There's 1 million.
Hold on, today we found out we're the biggest podcast in Asia.
Yeah. No, yeah. That's true, people, by the way. We don't make this. I mean, we make some stuff up, like the fact that Toby's actually an athlete, but we are genuinely the biggest running podcast currently in Vietnam and the Philippines. That's not us making up complete lies like usual. If you go on a thing called wherever it is, and you can look for that for yourself. So we are. You're welcome. I should have looked this up actually. I should have looked up what hello is in Philippines language. Ignorant idiot that I am. And Vietnamese. I should have worked that out really, shouldn't I?
Well, you can try.
It is in American.
Is it? What was that?
Do you know what it is in American?
No.
Hello.
What is it? Oh, he's such a. You can tell Speego's back. By the way, Speego, all your fans, where have you been and what have you been doing?
I've been busy.
Apart from eating.
I've had a busy job.
No, you don't have a busy job, but what have you been doing?
Working.
And what have you got on Sunday?
Sunday? Oh, a little bike ride.
And how warm is it going to be?
How warm? I actually don't know. I'm doing my normal preparation for absolutely anything I do.
And have you done any training for this biking?
What's that?
Have you done any training for biking? Otherwise, when you took me out and I made me fall off mine, have you done any other training other than that?
I didn't make you fall off. I stood there and watched you and then helped.
Yeah, no, you did watch me and then ride off, yeah. But
no, I came back to help you.
Yeah, you did. In fairness, right, guys, you did come back and help me when I was crying on the floor.
Which is more than you did when you left him at Landmarks.
Did I leave him alone? Yeah, but he wasn't crying. He hadn't fallen over.
You left me at Hackney as well.
No, that was Ben's fault.
Oh, you still left me?
No, Ben left you. I went with Ben to make sure he was all right because it was hot and I was concerned about him.
You prefer Ben to me? Got you.
It's cutting deep, isn't it?
Right, hold on. I'm going to do a shout out actually before we get into this. So firstly, we had a lovely note from David Turner earlier this week who said, no real question, just wanted to say I love the show and you guys do an amazing job. I know you love it, but it shows some great dedication. To match your dedication, I've been listening from episode 1 to catch up. Jesus, I wonder how long that's taken. He said he'll be disappointed when he catches up, and he's literally been listening to it every day on his everyday run and dog walk for the last 2 months. So he said, keep up the great work and thanks for everything you do. So thank you, David. That's very kind of you.
And if you're watching this live, like Bite Size on Monday, the show is your show. So light us up, comments, questions. We're going to be talking about what we again. What was it talking about?
How you train differently in the summer.
Yeah, we talk about that. So get them questions in if you want anything. So stick there. We don't really care what it's about anymore. What's the best food in the Philippines? We'd be interested to know because we're going to be doing a Far East tour. So stick all that sort of stuff in the comments as we go along. If you're listening to this on a podcast, you've missed out on the best picture I probably put up so far today. So you need to watch this back, I would say.
Hayden might not agree, but yeah. Anyway, how are we? Toby, have you recovered from Hackney? Let's go back to that.
Kind of, I think. I didn't really think about it. But yeah, I managed to get blisters at Hackney though, which is a bit annoying. So I haven't really done much running this week to help that the hope they might disappear before Sunday.
And they have?
They're going down, but I can still feel them. Still hurt a bit.
Whereabouts were they?
Sort
Don't
of
tell on your feet, because I'll get in the car, drive round, and knock you out.
No, but then you'd stop at Nays and Fish and Chips on the way, wouldn't you? So you give me time to.
No, because I just smashed the Pizza Hut because I'm an athlete, elite athlete. Whereabouts on your foot?
On the inside, on the bottom, along the edge,
along the arch.
Yeah, kind of, but nearer the front.
That's naughty when that happens. Ben, what's the worst blister you've ever had on your feet?
I would say something similar to Tobe on the inside, on the arch of my foot. But luckily, I didn't get one when we were in Hackney.
On the side of my toe, big toe, that was awful. London Marathon.
Okay. Well, here's a question to the audience. Where's the worst place to get? I personally think in the arch of the foot is the worst place because they tend to be really big. But I've had obviously killer ones across all my toes and on the outside. But I think the one I had on the arch of my foot after what race was it? I ran. It might have been A6 10K one year. One of them, it looked like my foot had been eaten by a shark. There's like a hole out of it.
I had a blister on the arch of my foot after I wore those 361 trainers.
You can't talk about them because otherwise we'll get in more trouble.
Yeah, but that is true.
Mind you, they don't listen to this. They don't care because they switched off from us after we were honest about their shoes.
Exactly.
Oops, probably not best to say anything.
Anyway, Ben, how are you? Good week? You done any running?
Yeah, I did Hackney with a certain someone on Sunday.
Yeah, the best time ever.
I did. Would do it all again.
See, there you go. You loved it.
And then Tuesday and Thursday, satellite groups running with PB before her wedding on tomorrow.
Yeah, we've got to give a massive shout out to PB.
Yeah.
Who's getting married tomorrow. We spent Tuesday night practicing her running, doing the runaway bride, just in case she gets last minute jersey, which I don't think she will. Because her Ralph's a good man, but just in case, we've got to do in intervals just to get her prepped up. So she enjoyed that. And what did you do on last night, Ben? What was it?
We were doing Follow the Bride, effectively. We passed around Vale and just went on a random run through Bournemouth where only 3 people really knew where they were going.
Oh, dear.
So we got a little bit lost and kept getting told not to turn right because there were hills.
Oh. So we've given her a proper send-off this week. So good luck to PB Petra this weekend. Have we got to change her name? Because she's changing her name by law. Can we still call her PB Petra?
Yeah, we can, because she's changing her surname and the PB doesn't come into that. So she's...
Oh, good. Okay, as long as that's on the wedding certificate that it actually says that he's marrying PB Petra.
I will go up and edit it. As I bend her at the altar.
Tipex on the wedding certificate. Now scrub that out, PB in front of that.
I know someone that's good at editing things. We'll be all right.
Yes, Toby. I get in a lot of trouble, Toby, and they all think it's me, but it's actually you.
Nothing doing me.
Oh, okay.
I'm well behaved.
You know.
All right. Anyway, Chris.
Kurt's message though. He wants to know. He's listening back, and he's got to the bit just before Snowdon. He wants to know how it went.
Well, Snowdon was good. This is where
don't spoil it for him because he's listening.
Oh, well, you'll like it. But I would actually watch. We did 2 videos, didn't we, Tobe? We did 2 videos for that Snowdon trip. So watch them back because you'll see Speedgoat go up and down a mountain, and probably the fastest time you'll ever see anybody go up and down a mountain. So watch that; it's brilliant. Both the videos. I might even we could even rehash them, Tobe. We could do a little Speedgoat special.
But do you think that was the last time I actually did any training?
No, I think that was the last time you actually did any running. Because you can't count Tokyo because you walked for 16 miles.
No, I guess 16 miles.
Amsterdam, I don't know what you was doing. I think you was off your nut after what you've been up to the night before. And that was the last time you actually did any running. I can't remember you doing any running. Even Ben would agree, wouldn't you, Ben?
I mean, we didn't see him at Hackney, did we?
No, this is the thing. It's just, he was,
I was
so
keeping
ruined,
on
right?
pace. That's all I'm saying. I was keeping on pace.
He was so ruined. He couldn't even. Could you not even carry the camera at one point? Could you?
No, Simon was loving it so much he didn't want to give it back.
So that was it. But you got a lot of love, didn't you? Speak Out at the old Hackney Half. A lot of people, Speak Out fans, were there?
Because I had my Speakoat top on.
Yeah, the Speak Out top on's got nothing relating to Speak Out on it. He asked the guy who makes the shirt to take any reference to Speak Out off of it. What an idiot! I mean, he's got his own shirt named after him. He took everything off of it. No brains. Anyway, right, what's going on, Admin? Oh, I've got a serious question though for Tobe, because obviously you saw Ben. Have you told everyone what you're training for, or you're going to be training for, because it starts in a couple of weeks?
Chicago.
Yeah,
we have now.
Yeah, so Ben's training for that. Admin, you're going to be training for Chicago. Effectively, you kind of started already, to be fair. Toe, what are you training for?
I can't comment on that.
Oh, really?
Because then I'd have to have something to train for. Which
so you've not got anything booked, is what you're saying?
No, not at the moment.
Have you got your eyes on anything?
Not really.
Because me and Admin and Ben are worried about you. The fact that you're going to go down this pit of despair with nothing, no goals, no aims. You're just going to end up eating yourself probably, and it'll just be a downward spiral into a pit of nothingness.
No, I've got some thoughts, but not necessarily.
Do you want to share with them? No one's listening. There's only 1 million people watching this live.
No, because if I wanted people to know, I would have told you, because it's guaranteed that everyone would then know in about 5 minutes.
Oh, no, I can't say that. No, I'm not allowed to tell anybody that.
Question. Tell me, that thing that you booked that you then cancelled, have you rebooked something else in its place?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
Oh, it's definitely up to say. 100%.
Yeah, but I know something you don't know.
Oh, hang on. That's because I'm going to open my mouth, put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Now, listen to this. On Wednesday, if anybody's coming, I'm going to Battersea Park. I'm going to be doing 10K, because there's a 5K, 10K at the run through event. I recorded a podcast for them. Was it this week I did that? I can't remember. Yeah, I did a podcast with Run Through this week, which was a coincidence more than anything else. And I'm running there on Wednesday. So if anybody's coming to Battersea, make sure you say hi. I'm going to be, we're filming something, but we're doing a vid over there on Wednesday. It's, I think it's like a Chase the Sun thing, but the only thing is a bleeding train strike. So that's going to throw a few things in the thing. But I'm lucky I can get the overground, so it kind of gets me out of jail. But so if anybody's, then I know obviously in Vietnam it's very hard, in the Philippines to fly over and do that. I wouldn't necessarily suggest that for this event, but yeah, if you're going to Battersea, then come and say hi, because I'm there filming for that 10K. And actually, that's the other thing we've got to give a shout out. We've got to give a shout out to the guys at Start Fitness, because everybody's been going on about that. Make sure you use the code 40 runs. Is it 40 runs?
Yeah.
Yeah, 40 runs at startfitness.co.uk. You're going to get 10% off. You guys have been smashing the life out of that. Again, thanks very much. Everybody keeps telling me that every purchase, cheers 40, which is nice. But yeah, you can get 10% off of those. Oh, London crew are coming. I'm guessing that's Sue on the chat box thing. So yeah, so there's going to be plenty of people who are along to Battersea. So come along. It's going to be a bit of a laugh, I think, actually, more than anything else.
Toby, have you put the link in for people to click?
Yeah,
I did. Yeah, I put it on the main Facebook group.
What's this? Ryan Stevens, Speedgoat is hitting the States with 40. That's what it is. There's no confirmation I'm going to America.
Definitely nothing about me going to America.
No, imagine that, Joe. Maybe me and you go to America. How cool would that be? Mind you, he's got a weekend with me in a couple of weeks. He's going to love it. He's going to have the best. Actually, I don't know. Ben, would you want to come with that? Because he gets upset now, because obviously we're best friends. So would you like to come along as well?
To America?
No, you're not coming. You're not getting on that trip.
Oh, I want to go to a honky tonk.
Oh, we could go to a honky tonk. Actually, that's a really good idea. We could all go to a honky tonk, and then
No, we're not going to a honky tonk.
You and Ben can go
might
to a
come in.
honky
It's
tonk.
boys on tour.
Exactly.
Hold on. You
Selective.
wouldn't be there if I didn't organise it. So
True.
Got
That's
point.
true. Listen, I'm not being funny, right? But we probably
should talk about.
instead of us mates just having a catch up, we should probably talk about running.
So firstly, do you know what's really interesting? Loads of people are going back and watching stuff that's been out for a while. So David Long just said he was watching the running around an island video today, and that was brilliant.
Oh, that was brilliant. Have you seen that one, Ben? I surprised Tobe. It was.
Haven't yet.
I think Si was on holiday or something like that. So I said to Tobe, "I've had a brilliant idea," and he went, "Oh no, what's it going to be now?" So I picked him up from his house. Lucky enough, the person who's staying there had already left. So I picked it. What are you shaking your for? I picked him up from his house and I took him to Malden in Essex. Now you might think Malden, Essex, but it is an island off the Malden in Essex. There's an island.
You mean Mersey?
Yeah, but it's by Malden, isn't it, Tobe?
No.
And somewhere out there by the sea. Anyway, so I took him out there. Right, I drove him down. He had absolutely no idea. Be honest, Tobe, you had no idea where you was going, did you?
I had no idea, I was quite worried.
Yeah. So I got him there in one piece, just about. The funniest thing was we got onto the island and then there was park run there, which was hilarious. So that was good fun. And then we proceeded to run around it, but we did become a bit of a cropper about mile 12. So watch the video. I won't say any more than that because if you haven't seen it, it is a good one. It's basically us cocking about running around the island. But Tobe had no idea. And we come a cropper at about mile 12, wasn't it, Tobe? We could literally see the finish, couldn't we?
You could see the finish, and then we had to go back about a mile. But to be fair, by that point, it was all we ruined it anyway because you took a shortcut at mile 3.
Sunburnt. I had so many stings on my legs because the grass was up to our heads, and I must have got stung about 50 times by bees. Oh, it was the best day out ever. Tobe had the best time of his life, didn't you?
What?
So Ben, we could do that now. Thinking about it,
I
might take Ben on a road trip.
Oh God! What? That sounds like you picked him up early in the morning.
I did.
You made it for park run.
So yeah, it was early. It was an early shout, wasn't it? But anyway, go and watch the video, guys. It's a cracker. It really is.
Right. Let's talk about what we're actually meant to be talking about, which is how we train differently in the summer. So it is getting warmer, right? It's definitely. I mean, even in the mornings, it's starting to definitely heat up.
Yeah, that's true.
And yeah, so what do we do differently? What do you change? Because I think as well, a lot of people are about to start summer marathon training for those autumn races. So you've got in the autumn, you've got
the halves.
Chicago. Sorry?
You got all the halves as well.
Yeah, all over the summer. Yeah, you've got Big Half will come early September. You have Vitality 10K, Great North. So there's loads of stuff that will be coming up. And it is different to training in the winter when it's cold and we're thinking about actually how many layers do we need and how do we keep our feet dry so that we're not drenched on mile 1 when you've got 20 miles to go. So what do you do differently, if anything? Toby, I would start with you, but that would mean do some running. So then we'll go to you first. Like, is there anything you do differently training in the summer to the winter?
Yeah, I think one of the keys for me is actually planning when I'm going to go running. So normally during the winter, it's kind of I can go as and when, whereas during the summer, making sure from a weather perspective that it's not too hot outside. I think one of the challenges I find with that though is fueling, because I tend to like to get up and go early doors, but depending on work, if I've got to go later in the evening, it's making sure that I've got that fuel in my body to go for a long run later on.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's hard, isn't it? Because when you get up really early, especially if you're going on a long run, in order to fuel, you'd have to be up at like 3 a.m.
Yeah, which is a challenge. So I think again, that's where it comes down for me is the planning in the summer of what days I'm going to do my long run and how I can fit that in around work more so for summer.
Right, Chris, what have you got? Do you do anything differently?
Well, there we go. What?
Can I also just say, you drinking from what looked like a jug a second ago was very off-putting for those people just listening.
What was it? Was it to not have mute on?
No, you have mute on, but it's just a stupid size. Why are you
It's
drinking
lovely.
that?
It's electrolytes in there. It's funny enough. Actually, we're talking about what we're talking about, and actually a bit of an aside. I've got to just finish editing it, but I've got a video about electrolyte drinks because I've got a load of electrolyte drinks and I tested loads of them. I bought them all myself, and so it's not paid or anything like that. But I bought all the like the capsule ones because
Yeah.
I'm lazy, right? So for me, it's just like stick it in. I can't bother to even get a scoop because that's how lazy I am. I can't bother to scoop any. I know it's Tobe's nodding around. So I tested loads out of them because, and also to make the point about increasing fluids. I think that's just common sense, right? The fact of increasing your hydration during training for the summer months, but also looking at making sure that you are, getting some of those electrolytes, extra electrolytes on, but it's not just like after, it's before, during, and after. So making sure that you're looking after yourself in that kind of way. So that leads nicely into that. Good plug, by the way. But I don't know when that video is coming out, but it'll be soon. But I would definitely look at that sort of stuff. But I think really that the question for me is not necessarily the obvious things about training in the heat. It's more than how do you adapt? How do you differ in the summer versus the winter? Because your perceived effort's probably higher, right? So if you're doing a tempo run and it's bleeding 70 degrees at 7 o'clock in the morning, that's going to feel absolutely brutal versus maybe if you was doing that, at -2 in a January morning sort of thing. And I think that's the other side of it for me is more about managing that effort. And in the summer, I run a lot more to feel.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's more about managing how I'm feeling and making sure that I'm not overdoing it on certain runs, but at the same time, doing those push efforts when I need to do those. What I mean by push efforts, like the high effort stuff, which I know is going to be brutal. I might shorten it actually, because instead of doing like a 30-minute speed session, let's call it. Now that could be anything, right? That could be at the track or whatever. I might shorten that down to 25 minutes. Because again, the efforts that I'm putting in, I'm probably getting similar sort of results, but it's going to be such more hard work because of the heat that I'm doing it at. So that's the sort of adjustments I make. But it's more about, as I said, that perceived effort from me. So it's not, you've got the basics running the heat tips that I think we've done millions of episodes and millions of videos on. But for me, I think what I want you guys to think about tonight, as you're maybe running along or listening to this live, is how do you switch around your runs? What do you do slightly differently? What would you tweak slightly differently? So whether it is running starved because you've got to go out in the morning, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you manage it to a certain level. So I'll go out and I'll run up to 13 miles. So maximum 2 hours starved. I won't go further than that starved. But I do a lot more, like Ben was saying, starved running in the summer. Because like you, I don't want to be going out too late. I'm not that bothered in the winter because at 9 o'clock, it doesn't really make any difference because it's still the same temperature. But going out at 9 o'clock in the height of the summer can make a huge difference, right? So, running starved, I think I do a little bit more. But also, again, it's more for me in the summer to run to feel, I would say, more than anything else.
And do you look at less of the stats in that sense? So obviously we've spoken loads on here about watches and looking at heart rate and dried pods and all kinds of stuff. So do you worry less about what your watch is saying in terms of stats and more about how you're feeling?
Yeah, I look. Well, I'm looking at it more at the moment anyway in terms of recovery. So my big focus at the moment is on my recovery. We did a whole episode about sleep, right?
Yeah.
But I'm really trying to dial in at the moment in all about my recovery. With what I've got coming up at the end of the year, I really need to be able to recover properly. So I'm actually playing now where I tell even my clients at the moment, practice some of these runs, practice some of these sessions ready for your training block that's going to be coming in June or July, whatever it is, right? Play around with some of the sessions, have some fun with that and this and that sort of stuff. For me, actually, personally, I'm practicing different things in terms of recovery. So when am I, this is amazing, I know what I'm getting. Am I better off going to sleep at 9:30 or am I better off going to sleep at 9:45 or at 9? This is how I know what I'm getting. Am I better off getting up at 6:30 or am I better off getting at 6 but taking my time on getting up? Am I better off after a run doing X, Y, and Z? Should I go for a walk in the afternoon? It's that sort of stuff that I'm playing with because I'm looking to really ramp it up over the summer in terms of effort, right? So the best way that I can, without sort of doing any harm to myself, is to make sure that I'm getting the recovery right. If I can get the recovery right, then my body's going to be able to adapt to what I'm asking it to do, right? So that for me is the key area. And I would say the same to everybody a little bit over the summer as well. Play with your recovery, because when you've done a high effort or even a medium effort in that sun, in that heat, you're going to feel the after effects of it. You're going to be dehydrated probably the rest of the day if you're not hydrating enough, if you're not fueling enough after. I'm not talking about what Tobe does and go to KFC. I'm talking about making sure you are getting you really are dialing in what you're eating and drinking after those efforts. Because if you then got to go out the next day because you are in a training plan, whether it's a half marathon plan or you're doing Catch 5K, it doesn't make any difference. But looking after what you're doing after the run and in the lead up to your next run is really critical, I think. And it's always an important part in running and any, sport that you do. But I think because you're exposing yourself for a period of time in that heat, and your body's going to have to adapt to that heat as well. There's a period of where you're going to have to adapt to it. That's really important to look after yourself and monitor it. So that's what I'm going to be doing differently. So running to feel a lot more, but also really dialing in that sort of that recovery element. And you could, another tip or whatever, is to drop a run and go in the pool, because the pool's probably cooler. No, Tobe's saying no, but you could, you could drop a run. What you do in the pool over an hour is probably going to give you more benefit than going out and sweating your bits off for 30 minutes at park run.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? So that's the other things, maybe going into an air conditioned gym and doing a treadmill session, doing some intervals on a treadmill, do your speed session there. Could be a way, if you're lucky enough to be able to get into a gym. They're the sort of things and adaptations you can make versus where you'd necessarily be training for a spring half or marathon, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, on that, Toby, are you actually going to use your treadmill this summer then?
Yeah, I'd be interested to know that. And have you got aircon? Because I'll come around.
Well, no, it's not an aircon room, but I have used it a few times over the winter.
A few times? How many exactly?
A few's under 10.
No.
And, why haven't you got aircon? Considering what you pay to have your roof cleaned, I'm surprised you haven't had aircon installed.
I have kind of got aircon. If I open the door both ends, it kind of flows through.
No, that doesn't count, Tobe. You can't count opening a door as air conditioning.
What about if I put a fan in front of the door as well to help push it along? Does that help?
Tobe, you're a single guy. I know you've got a lot of expenditure with those nights out. We won't say any more than that. But shouldn't you just cowboy up and get some aircon so I can come and sleep with your ass?
Firstly, you can't use that saying anymore.
Okay.
And?
Yeah.
Toby?
And secondly, Tobe's got to get aircon. Ben, do you think Tobe should get aircon? I think
it means you're going to come to my house.
It's a requirement.
No, if you're going to come to my house so I've got aircon, I'm even less likely to get it. Let's be totally honest about it.
No, I'm just thinking, because everyone could then, if it gets really hot in the summer, we could just everyone could come around your house and use your treadmill, because you're not going to use it. So we could use it.
But I'm heading back to the subject we actually meant to talk about it. I think the acclimatization bit that you mentioned is very important. I think that's one of the keys, is actually going out on those hot days. It doesn't matter almost what your plan says, but just using that as a day you can be running outside and get used to the heat. So you're not sort of going, oh, it's way too hot, but let's go and do this speed session. You just get some time out in the sun, or just out running if you're me.
No, I know what you're saying. You're saying try and get out. Yeah, I agree with that. And it does, as you say, there's an adaptation, or whatever word you use, I can't remember what it was, period of time. And then all of a sudden you get used to it. And obviously, don't forget, the fact is you're going to be training in that heat. Come let's say, October, November, you're going to feel like a racehorse on an early winter's morning, all revved up and ready to go. You're going to feel like a hero, Ben, on the start line, because you've been training through the summer and all of a sudden it's cooled down a bit. Honestly, you're going to feel like a racehorse.
What's the weather going to be like in Chicago? I don't even know.
Hit and miss. I think it was all right last year, wasn't it, for the marathon? But it's one of those. It's quite.
You know who we need to ask, don't you? But he's not here. This guy. This guy. We need to ask this guy. He's not here. He's away with the man.
It rained last year when he did it.
Did it?
I don't know. I could be making that up.
What's
It was
Chicago?
raining in Boston.
Boston was definitely right. I thought it was a bit chilly when he did it last year, but to be honest, I couldn't really care less.
Bit strong.
What's wrong with you today, Toby?
Well, I won't be there, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that is true. He don't care because he's not going.
I'll be
Yeah,
doing
I mean,
Royal
really.
Parks, I think,
What about
Yeah,
me?
mate,
then?
right.
round then.
Also, did you just put that picture back up for Lloyd? He said he loves the picture with Hayden.
Yeah, it was purely for Lloyd. That's the only reason I put it up, Hayden. If you're listening to this back, that's the only reason Lloyd told me to do it. Oh, apparently called it into Gale. It was sunny last year in Chicago.
Okay.
I thought it was,
I
but I
thought
do
it was,
remember Hayden being in jeans in Chicago. I know he's
Yeah, right.
always in jeans, but I
he
think
was in jeans on the flight out, I remember.
I remember being,
Put
and he was in
that
those
picture.
jeans. Has he only got one pair of jeans? I need to speak to his wife because whenever I've seen a picture of Hayden in jeans, he's always in the same pair of jeans. So maybe he only has, or they're not even his legs, and he's photoshopping himself onto somebody else's jeans. That's another cryptic message. So there could be that. So yeah, I don't know whether have we helped at all. I think you've got the bits about shortening your distances up, that kind of sensible thing about wearing sun cream, hats, things, the practical advice is there. But I really do feel like
I think the big thing is what you said about perceived effort, right? Because it is going to feel harder, especially if you think like now, if you're getting into kind of your training block for whatever it is, or couch to 5K, those first 3-4 weeks are going to feel pretty tough, right? Because your body's just not used to it. We've come out of cold weather and it has changed quite quickly to going from being pretty breezy and cool to warm. So those first few weeks will feel really tough. It's okay for it to feel tough. Every run isn't going to feel great. Every run isn't going to feel easy, but it will get easier. I think the worst thing to do, I mean, look, if it is like last year, we had 40 degrees, right? Let's not be silly and try and kill ourselves and go out at midday in that, right? Always, we should be safe and looking after ourselves. But also getting out will help. Suddenly just avoid running in sunny weather. In the same way, I'm like, you can't avoid running in the cold. People are like, it's too cold to run. You're like, just get out and do it.
Too cold to run. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I've never known that.
But they do though, don't they? People are like, it's too icy, it's too cold.
Oh no, I get that. If it's too icy, that lot, but too cold, just put more layers. I mean, Toby's lucky. He's got like built-in layers, if you know what I mean. From where
they're not so great for the summer.
Yeah, I mean, Toby, you're going to be wearing a vest this summer?
No.
Sorry, Ben. You're not going to be wearing a vest this summer, Toby?
No.
Why is that?
I don't want to wear a vest. I'm quite happy in my my t-shirt.
You're medium. Oh, by the way, Ben, out of interest, how was the fit on your Hackney half top?
Snug.
Abin?
Mine came up big.
Oh. Well, that could be good news. That could be good news. So, how was yours?
Fine.
Because that means you could possibly swap with admin if that was. Have you got it on? Can we see it?
No, it's in the wash. I
was wearing it.
I wore it the other day, so I put it in the wash, but I think I put it in the wrong temperature. So if it comes out a bit smaller, I won't be able to wear it again.
There's no way you've worn it because you'd have to be cut out of that surgically, Tobe. That's one thing that let the Hackney half down. If you've seen the video now, it's a really good event. I really enjoyed it. Tobe didn't, hammered them, but I just think it was. Sorry, I just got an email. Pay no attention. But yeah, I just think that's the only thing. And I'm not moaning about because I think it's nice they gave us a t-shirt and all that sort of stuff. I just wish there'd been like a sizing chart somewhere because I looked, but I didn't look at it because the volunteers, I love talking to the volunteers when they give you the stuff. I was chatting to the lady and all this sort of stuff, right? But in retrospect, I did see some pins. I don't know if you saw it, but people were like holding them up. Maybe future we should do that.
I feel like we've missed a trick here because we just went and grabbed a large and walked off and then tried to get ourselves into it. And
we probably should have shown a little bit more, just been a bit more sensible about these things. But there's no way Tobe's getting into his meeting. I mean, absolutely no way. My large, right, has been sprayed on me. And I know I need to get a bit trimmer over the summer, right? But there's absolutely no way in this world Tobe's getting into that medium. I'd pay money to watch you do it, Tobe.
I did it the other day, but it's now in the wash, so can't do much about it.
Actually, I want to talk a little bit. I know we're sort of going a little bit off topic, but it's kind of is relatable because We've got the Southend Half Marathon coming up, right? That Ben and I are doing as well. You two are swanning about. I know, Toby, you're with me. I'm thinking aside. No, Toby's with me. So if you want to come to Southend, there's a pink picnic. We're doing a picnic. Everyone's welcome to come along to. But Speedgate's going to be about admin's large in it. But it's because what are our thoughts? Because Ben's not this Ben, Big Ben's going for a time. So in terms of races over the summer, how do you guys sort of tackle? Do you think to yourself, I'm going to go for a time? Do you think to yourself, I'm just going to enjoy this? Do you pick out events and that like, over the summer to try and run a time, or do you sort of go into I know we kind of do it anyway about we have fun and that sort of stuff anyway, right? But do you really take those personal goals, not necessarily time, but those personal goals away from those summer events? What about you, admins first?
Well, last year I tried going for times in the summer and tried to push myself, and it didn't really work, as was pretty well documented at Southend. And so definitely this year taking the pressure out of it. And interestingly, last year when I did Hackney, I went, right, I'm going to run the first 3 miles at pace or goal pace or a decent pace, and then just going to back out completely and enjoy the rest of it. And I think that was the best thing I could do. So I think it's important sometimes to put a bit of work in, right, and see how your body's feeling. But for me, it's not about trying to run a time and run a PB. I'd much rather go out, be safe, enjoy it. Yes, see how your body feels. And if you're feeling good after 3 miles, you go, okay, right, let's see if I can do a bit more. But we've spoken about this a lot. It's always, you see people laid out on the side of the road, and I don't want to be that person.
No,
for me, it's like, actually just go out and enjoy it. And I also take it as an opportunity to run with friends. So we're all at different paces.
No, I'm not having that. I'm not having that. Stop there.
No, what do you mean?
We come over the start line. That's it, boys. I'll see you later. I'll see you at the end. Absolutely binned the 4 of us. And said, right, boys, I'm going to run my own race. I'll see you later. So I'm not having that. You've got to retract that.
Oh, no. Toby was welcome to run with me.
I wish I did.
Man,
I went to run with my 4 mates as well, and then but by the end of it, there was 2 of us. I don't know what happened to the other 2.
So admin sacked you off, Ben sacked you off. I only went there to keep an eye on Ben. Yeah, go on, carry. Sorry, admin, carry on, but you've got to retract your statement.
No, I'm not retracting it, because last summer, all of the races I did in the summer, actually, I ran a lot with Petra actually last summer. A6 10K, Southend, Hackney. And actually, I think it's a really nice opportunity actually in the summer just to go, I'm going to go and run with my mates. We're going to go and have a great time rather than trying to put yourself through your paces. There's plenty of time for that. There's a whole year. We only have really hot weather for maybe 8 weeks here. Okay. So for me, it's not
so
right.
You never target a summer race or a summer event to run a time. That's what I'm trying to get at.
No, not after last year.
Okay.
Never.
All right, Ben, same question to you. Would you target a summer event for a time?
I think much like Sabrina, one thing I think is about listening to your body, right? Yes, I'll start the race probably with an aim. I think I said to you before Hackney, I was wanting around 1:45. You found a picture of me at mile 11 where I was completely broken, and you were basically dragging me to the finish line. But actually, I knew that pushing it was just going to be ridiculous. I think you've got to temper it. You've got to be able to give yourself that permission that if you're not feeling it or if you're struggling, you need to just back off and listen to your body. Because like Sabrina said, Chris, we saw people on the side of the road at Hackney, and it's not, you just hope they're all right, and you don't want to be that person. So in terms of setting times, I'll have a rough idea, but if I don't, so Southend, we've got an idea. We want to do 1:45. If we don't hit 1:45, there'll be plenty of other opportunities that come along that we can do it in kind of ideal conditions. We could turn up at Southend and it'd be 30 degrees, and in which case I'll be like, no thanks. I'm just gonna. And as Sabrina said, it's a great opportunity just to run and chat with friends. I mean, I know we chatted pretty much most of the way around until mile 11. Until mile 11, when you dropped to me and just told me not to look at the floor. And
it's just I would describe it as a motivational speech. Would you say it's motivational speech, Ben?
I mean, speech is pushing it, but motivational. Okay. Do
you want to share with the listeners what I told you?
So I may have looked at the ground once, and it just happened to be at the point at which Chris turned round to see where I was. and the words, "There's nothing down there that's going to help you," with this motivational speech. And to be fair, it worked, because straight away my head just kind of like jerked upwards, and I was like, "Don't let down, don't let down. He'll tell you off again." So
I want everyone else
did
to
work.
think that. I want, if you look at the ground and think Fordy's going to tell me there's nothing on the ground that's going to help you.
Could you have done with that motivational speech?
Yeah, probably could.
No, I'd side with me, and he was doing a good enough job.
I've got to do one shout out before we move to speak up with this question. I've genuinely, right, I know I muck about for 40 minutes, but seriously, for 2 seconds, I want to give a big shout out to the St John's Ambulance at the Hackney Half and all races and events. St John's Ambulance, right, if you're not in the UK because you're Philippines, Vietnam, whatever, Google them, right? They are the most amazing people in the world. They are incredible to us runners. All the first aiders who come and support these events, and the event organisers bring these first aid people to these races to look after us, are just absolute heroes. I'm not just saying that just to, look good. They are genuinely amazing people. And can everybody do me a favour? When you next do your race or event, can you make sure you thank them as you're going past? Because nobody ever thanks them. Me and Ben, well, I think we thanked everybody. I think we was even thanking like spectators. We was thanking anybody, even the ratings. But we made a point of thanking like them and everybody else, the guys who are picking up the cups and all that sort of stuff. It is a thing that you don't see. And I don't think anything's deliberate about it at all, actually. But just, maybe give them a thanks. That's all I ask, because honestly, those guys, even at the finish line, they're always trying to move you on. And I really appreciate that. But I always say to them, thanks very much. And I'd like, if you could, just do the same, because honestly, some of the things they have to deal with and look after us, they really do take care of us at these races and stuff. So, yeah, just for serious, that was a minute and 15 seconds. Just say thanks to St John's Ambulance, please. Right, so Speedgoat, same question to you. This is the most pointless question ever. Do you target a time at a race? It's just so pointless. But go on, let's see what the answer is.
Can I go back and something Ben said earlier?
Yeah.
First, when you said that like Southend might be like 30 degrees, would you ever consider, like, if it's really hot on a run, stopping and getting an ice cream on the way round?
If there was an ice cream truck and I'm not paying, why not?
Okay.
That's the point. I don't think I paid for that. Was it admin who paid for them?
Probably, yeah. I mean, I was definitely not part of it, so I was just wondering if it's something that somebody would consider on a hot run.
While you're running around a track while everyone else is putting a shift in. Yeah, everybody watched the Red Bull video. You'll see what we're talking about. Right, go on, Tobe. Come on, because the viewers want to know.
I wouldn't target any kind of thing in the summer, but I think I'd use the summer to target something in sort of late September, October-y time. So you get that benefit of the heat training, let's call it. But actually, hopefully then by the time you get to that race, the weather's on the way down again. So then you can really take advantage.
Is there like a cut-off month that you would say, after July, I'm not going to go and attack any race? Because obviously, right, again, in the UK, traditionally gets hot from like now, July, August, September, right? So is there like after May, you won't do any like hard races or anything like that?
I think it's too risky to go, you've got to kind of call it May or June, because it's so unpredictable over here that, like this weekend, if you were going to run something this weekend, was it meant to be mid-20s or something like that? I believe. I haven't even looked. There's no point in looking.
Can't do anything.
Yeah, so you would have to then call that on the day and go, is it worth running this, going for my time in this weather? Yeah. Well, I think if you go September, late September, I think you're probably fairly safe.
But here's the thing, because I think this is really good, because it sort of links back. See, I mean, this is why we're award winning. Because I'm doing that race next week. It's in the evening. So maybe do like evening races, because they do like run through, do them. I'm doing that one in London, and I know they do them across the country. There's some track events and stuff late as well, isn't there?
And Bladen race, you guys are going to do that, and that's in the evening as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that's traditionally really hot.
Is it?
Yeah, apparently that's like been like monster hot up there. I'm really looking forward to that. Sorry.
Can you find out why it's 5.9 miles?
I I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to get shot by all our Geordie friends, right? But this thing like dates back over 155 years. It was like a carriage race between Newcastle and Blaydon. So
Right.
I'm guessing it's in relation. Yeah, Tobe?
If it dates back 155 years, we could probably ask Hayden because he'll probably
Yeah, to be
remember.
fair, Hayden probably ran the first one. To be honest with you, he probably ran the first one. So we'll ask Hayden. But yeah, it's over 155 years. I think the first race was in not actual like road race. Again, if I've got any of this wrong, email in. What's the thing, admin?
FORDYRUNS.com/long run.
Yeah, do that, right? And then say that Toby's upset you. But the first one was about 1981, I think, was the first road race effort of this. But it was based on this sort of carriage event, race thing that happened between Newcastle and Blaydon. And I think that's why is the distance that it is.
Right.
It's not specific to a 10K. It's because of this road or this distance that they used to do as part of this race. And that's where it all came about. From what I understand, again, I'm a bit ignorant in certain things, but I think that is some of the history around it. But again, please. Oh, that's a good point. Somebody Connor just made about trail running. See, this is the other thing, right? And we didn't actually speak about this, and it's a good way to sort of wrap it up. Is because out of you guys, because I know I do, in terms of trail running. So maybe in the winter, autumn months, I'm doing, I don't know, let's say 90% of my work on the road, because most of the racing events that I'm training for are road based. Okay. But in the summer, I definitely do a massive shift towards the trails. I'm much happier because I've got the freedom and the time to go and do the trails. Also with the trails, like if you go and run up in Epping Forest, a lot of it's under shelter.
Yeah.
So you get the canopy, that you get the protection, you get the nice clean air, but it is noticeable, with being in all those trees. There's nothing nicer than doing a trail and running through like a stream or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's so awesome. So that's a really good point about getting up there in the trails. I would say that's a really good thing. So you guys, in terms of trail running, I know like in the club and stuff, we deliberately now have put more trail running in over the next, series of weeks and stuff to put in. But do you deliberately try and look to the trails more, or how are you out?
Yeah, definitely look for more shaded routes, whether that be in the trails or down the river, like certain parts of the river, are a bit more shaded as well around the back of those bits. That definitely helps. But I think as well, you're right, running in the trails in the summer is just fun, isn't it? Just takes the pressure out of it as well. It's just doing something different. It's a different mindset. There's something quite nice about just kind of going, do you know what? I don't really know where I am, but
doing trail as well, I think actually it kind of naturally slows you down as well. So although you're in the shade, you're also then slowing your pace down for that relative effort. It's going to come down naturally because you're just enjoying it. It's something different as well. And you've got to be a bit more careful because tree roots and all the paths.
Yeah.
And it's funny, it's weird how these things work out. But we was talking about the Mersey Island run. That was so nice because we was on the trail, but we was on the coast. We ran obviously with the water next to us the whole way round.
Yeah.
And I did one a few years ago with Alan, and I ran sort of unguided along the coast, the east coast. And at one point, it was me in the North Sea. I didn't see a human being for 2 hours, and honestly, it was amazing. I found my own little beach and everything, and it was so wicked because I was next to the sea the whole way around. I love those sort of trail runs where I'm on the trail, but I'm next to the coast. It's beautiful. Like even, I think those. Again, I think it's Post you said about doing the beachy head, like parts of that when we did Ragnar, and all those. It's stunning. We're so lucky in the UK. We've got so many awesome undiscovered trails to us.
Yeah,
I think if you can obviously be safe, guys, but go out there and explore, you'll have the best time. Honestly, some of those coastal trails and stuff, they're really good fun. Ben, do you ever get out and do any of that?
Occasionally. It's something I want to do a lot more of this year. I think certainly, as you said, it's about the shade, and actually just, I think to Sabrina's point, just finding yourself in the middle of nowhere, not really knowing where you are, but just keeping running. So yeah, it's certainly when I get back from holiday, that's going to be my Sunday run, my long run.
Tobe, I've had a brilliant idea.
No,
Tobe.
No.
We could take Ben for the day and ruin him and get him lost. That would be
you'll end up ruining me.
Yeah, I would ruin you, but that would be a good idea, wouldn't it, Tobe? We could find a trail and take Ben and break him.
Yeah, but let's not tell him.
No, don't tell him. Admin, don't
Oh.
tell Ben.
Yeah.
I still want to know about this thing that I've just thought about. Actually, I've just gone back to it. That you know about Toby. I don't. That's now really bothering me. Do you know it, Ben?
I don't think so.
Right, you need to find out and then tell me.
I'll find out at the wedding.
Yeah, she'll be hammered, and she's
No,
doing
we did-
karaoke, by the way,
yeah.
at the wedding. And then you can tell me
What song?
what song are you going to sing, Admin, at the wedding.
Don't know. I'll ask Petra what her request is.
Oh, if we're doing requests, I'll come along.
Yeah.
Ben. So
Harry-
going back to trail running,
Oh,
a running related subject.
Oh yeah, it's your point, Toby.
Do you find, because it almost seems like trail running's a bit of a revelation, do you not do it because you don't think of it?
Yes, I think that would be one of them. So I've got like briquette wood near me, so I think I've done that a couple of times, but the weather wasn't quite warm enough, and so I was ending up steeplechasing through there. Didn't really have trail shoes. Chris has seen my trail shoes.
Oh, they're awful. They're nearly as bad as his Kinvaras. Oh,
So I need to invest in a pair of trail shoes
Yeah.
as well. But that, it's something that I want to get into this year.
Yeah. I mean, trail in the winter can be just as fun, but obviously you've got to be, it's when it gets dark. And stuff, it's a
Toby, I had
bit
another
harder.
brilliant idea.
Hold on.
Oh.
You don't. But I think that's a point. I don't think often enough to go out to the trails. It just doesn't necessarily cross my mind. So I think it's partly a habit thing of going, oh, I can go up to the trail. I can do that.
Yeah.
Instead of just going,
Convenience,
do
isn't it?
that route.
You can just step out of your door and off you go. But it is that thing, and again, we're all conscious of fuel prices and things like that. But if you can bundle into a car with a few of your mates and like we do, we head down to Epping Forest and things like that, you can have a great time. It really is. Toby, do you want to hear my brilliant idea quick before we... I was thinking like well ahead, but we could take Ben down, to the Christmas Eve route, where you're literally up to your knees in that horse field. He'd love it, wouldn't he?
I'm sure he would. Yeah.
But
again,
we're
we
going
won't
to take
tell
you
him.
there on Christmas Eve. We're gonna ruin you. We're gonna get you some new shoes. We're gonna tell you to get new shoes, and then they're gonna come back destroyed. It's such a good run. It
Gets
really
the
is.
speed
And
go.
it's hard, really hard. It's 10 miles, brutal.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah. Tell
Right.
me.
No, it's all right. We've got to 52 minutes. I'm not really sure how.
Have we got to 52 minutes?
By not
don't
talking about running.
But Gary Howland asked a good question. What was your ice cream of choice at the run? What would you go for? Ben, what would you now go for at Southend? 10 miles in.
Oh, I'd go for a Mr. Whippy. I'm not going to lie.
Toby, how did your Mr. Whippy go down?
Well, I want to point out that I did not have any choice in what I got. I went over to place my order or to have a look at the, there's the ice cream van, you got all the little symbols. I was going to look for like the most colourful one or something. But I went over to order it and I got sent away by Sabrina because she had this challenge of basically trying to get the biggest, messiest ice cream that she could for me to try and run with. Which I don't think is very fair. Luckily, the ice cream man was on my side and he said, no, you can't have extra of that, or that.
Which I did ask for, and he was like, no, enough. It was a bit tight, if you ask me. All right, look, what are we doing this weekend then? Who's running? Who's doing what? Toby, what are you doing? I'm cycling. Come on.
I'm probably doing a very gentle park run tomorrow morning, followed by a little bike ride on Sunday, and probably not a lot on Monday. Because bank holiday, remember?
Oh, it's bank holiday, isn't it?
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that.
All right. Ben, where are you? What are you up to?
So am I allowed to say, Chris?
Well, you can't say that and then leave it hanging. But I'm not party of this.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
No.
So I'm doing park run tomorrow down in Southend. Yeah, I know.
What? You've got a wedding to get to.
Yeah, and then I'm going to drive to the wedding and then get ready at the hotel. It's all planned. So hard 5. I need prep for Southend half. So that's my prep run.
That's not part of the course.
Wow. It give me practice to drive there, right?
Well, I'm just telling you, you need to be ready and at that venue for 1 o'clock. If not, Petra's going to kill you.
Before.
Oh,
then-
Mike, he's not. Mike asked the question twice. Toby's ignored him twice. No, he's not filming it. I asked the same question and I got the same response, Mike, which was just ignored. And Simon answered, no, he's not. So he's
I
not.
don't think I'm going to be in a state to try and even record that.
He won't be recording it.
No.
It's just.
All right,
I've
so
done
you're
less cycling than running.
so you're going to Southend tomorrow, then to a wedding. Anything else?
Probably try and get a run in on Sunday to run off all the alcohol and food.
Yeah, there's no way
And
you're
then-
running Sunday. It's going to be more
Yeah.
Monday,
We'll
100%.
see. And then Monday chill and pack for my holiday.
Oh, I keep mentioning this bleeding holiday, doesn't it? Everyone's going on holiday. We've got John Tours, he's going away. We've got Admin, she's shooting off. Everyone's going on bleeding holiday. Admin, so you're on wedding duty this weekend, really, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I'm going to do part run with Toby and Si in the morning, very gently.
Mhm.
And then, wedding. And then I'm doing Hatfield Broadoak 10K with what will be the newlywed PB Petra on Monday.
But she'd still be called PB Petra, wouldn't she?
Yeah. She'll still be called Pete. Don't worry
Otherwise,
about
I'll get confused. I can't remember people's names on the best of days.
that. Yeah. So I think there's quite a few Fordies going out to Hatfield Broadoak.
Can you still sign up for it?
No, the entries are closed now.
Well, that doesn't stop us in the past, to be honest.
No, but I mean, I think it's an Active Training World one. It's local. And then, do you know what I'm actually excited about? They do a kids' fun run a mile afterwards, and they have about 400 to 500 kids do it, which I think is
Amazing.
mental, which I think is just brilliant.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Can we put Chris in the middle of that?
I'd love that. I think that's just awesome. I just love seeing that. I think that's just brilliant.
You
So-
did a warm up.
Actually, I'm looking forward to running 10K, getting an ice cream, and then watching that because I think that's the highlight, isn't it?
Yeah, I might be right on that.
Having a good day out and running a mile, brilliant.
Mm.
So, And Chris, what are you up to?
Tomorrow, I don't know what I'm doing. I've got some bits to film. I've got some stuff to film. I generally have some stuff to film this weekend. I'll probably hit the trails Sunday. Monday, I might do a trail run. Don't know. Depends. I've got to paint a wall, so I'm not really sure. I've got don't ask. I've got some stuff to do. So I want to get into the trails. We've got so many trail shoes to review. It's like on another level. So I'll probably do a trail run at some point. I might actually do that on Monday. I might make the longer one, the trail run, because I can do a loop and then I can literally try 2 pairs of shoes, because if it's 10 miles, I could do 5 miles in each or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Just to try and see what could do a versus video or something. I don't know. I probably should think about these videos before I make them. So I'm sort of, it's not really working, but I'm working because I'm filming. Do you know what I mean? Over the weekend and painting a wall, and it's quite a big wall, and I've got to make it better because I ruined it last year. So all the paint's like peeled off because it's such a bad job. So I've got to get rid of that. So yeah, it's not very interesting.
Are you going to help him on Monday?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Probably won't really be able to stand up.
So bad. So we've got to say good luck to anybody who's doing Edinburgh Marathon this weekend.
Yeah.
Because that's a great event.
Enjoy the house.
Enjoy the. What does he call it? What did Si call it? The car park or whatever it was up at. Can't remember.
Mile 16 or 17.
Yeah, you're gonna have some fun there. But the people of Edinburgh are amazing, and the organisation is awesome, and you're really gonna enjoy that. I would say get out there as quick as you can though, because it's a bit of a weird one because you finish in a different place. But yeah, I would really enjoy Edinburgh this weekend. There's some other races and events going on, like you said, that one on Monday, isn't there? But there's a big Ride 100. Funny enough, I was running in London today and they were putting the barriers up. I felt like pushing them all over, to be honest with you, because biking should be outlawed. But yeah, you've got that this weekend. So good luck, because we've obviously got a lot of Fordies who are doing that. I think there's over 20 of them that are doing that from the group. So that's incredible. So good luck to all yours. Please be bloody careful on those stupid contraptions that they've invented. Just have a good time and be safe, whatever you do.
On that, huge shout out because there's a load of Fordies volunteering as well at different.
Oh, really? Okay, good.
So I think Ongar, Epping, and I think I saw Felsted as well. People posting saying that they're going to be at the hubs or the checking points and stuff around there. So do look out for them guys. And huge shout out to them for giving their time on Bank Holiday Sunday.
And if you're in the Isle of Wight, let me just show you here. Look out for this guy. This one in the middle. He's at the Isle of Wight this weekend. I think they're doing some form of gig on Saturday night, but I do know he's doing Park Run. Whether he's going to be singing at Park Run, I don't know. But if you see him, maybe asking for a tune or two. But he is at Park Run. on the Isle of Wight.
I've got so many questions about that picture, but I won't ask them now. Right. Thank you very much for listening. We're nearly at the top of the hour, which is amazing. Thank you for all your comments. Please do give us a review on Spotify, Apple Music, all of those things, your podcast providers. Obviously, if you'd like to get in contact, please go to fordyruns.com/longrun. Thank you again to our sponsors at Skechers. Head over to skechers.co.uk to check out all of the latest shoes and kit. And we will see you again next Friday. We've got Andy Forrester Dean, is that right? Coming on. So yeah, that'd be a great show. Right, good night, and we'll see you soon.